Okay, so I'm real curious right now what people are feeling like regarding that whooping Queen took at the hands of Big Mom. Now, at first glance, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit like, really, Queen? That's what you had, bro? We was waiting this long for you, Queen? Like, what type of shit is that, bro? But upon further examination, there was a lot left to be examined, so to speak, and we're going to talk about a lot. Luffy's potential new HAKI incoming, and so much between 945 and especially the latest chapter, 946 of One Piece, baby. That One Piece greatness! Let's talk about it. Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like... So WANO has been nothing but a treat thus far, baby. I'm not gonna lie, between the last chapter, which I believe it was 2 weeks ago, 945, with Sanji going up against Drake, kind of getting plotted like a swat, but still, we got some progress, people. We're seeing some of the worst generation throwing hands, we're seeing things get it started, and it's like, okay, you know, One Piece is moving at its typical speed, so we're not gonna get into that, but with what we've been getting, baby, it always pays off, because man, these chapters been absolute fire, and the foreshadowing of Luffy's developments, like, honestly, I don't care what anyone tells me, this has been a very different take on a training arc without having it just being, because, you know, normally a training arc gets relegated to, okay, they go into isolation, they go to the hyperbolic time chamber, they go to, you know, like Gon and them going to another video game world, training, all of this stuff. Training always goes into isolation, but having training in the midst and being disguised essentially as still a part of the whole big, you know, ordeal, in terms of like these characters are training with their lives on the line, so it makes it more interesting. I like when the stakes are high, even in the small aspects. No shots fired, but I do want to say, when it comes to the My Hero Academia hero side of it, the villains are doing great with this, but the hero side, they could take notes. I would like a little bit more of this type of stuff on the hero side, and that's not shots, but I'm just saying that's the first thing that came to my mind, is that it feels great that Luffy is learning while he is struggling, while the journey is still continuing. We're not pausing the journey, we're not inserting this into as a side notion. This is still a part of the journey, and Luffy is becoming a monster, because you got to think, he's been in captivity for a bit now. He was a kid working all those times just to eat and shit like that. You know Luffy got something up his sleeve, baby, and now that he's been training with this old man, oh, I can't wait. We're going back to X Drake real quick. It was kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie, in last chapter, how he was really upset about Sanji being sober masked, because you could see that was like a big deal to a lot of these people from where Sanji and them come from. What is it? They're from the North Blue or East Blue? I get confused, but you know, they're essentially from back home, and the fact that the myth is like this pirate guy, Sanji, and that he was, you know, a goofball, it hurts, and I guess it's one of those things where you could look at it as even a lesson within it. Never meet your heroes, because they never turn out to be who you imagine, and they never imagine in a billion years that, again, Sober Mask would turn out to be Blackleg Sanji, a part of the Straw Hat Pirates. But to be honest with you, if anything, it makes, for me, I look at it, the legend even more interesting. Instead of it just being cut and dry, now you know that, hey, this guy, he's the real deal, baby. He's the real badass that you want him to be. He's just not exactly how you portrayed him in each and every way. And then we also had that setup with Law. I'm glad that Law is still being a pivotal factor. Like, you could tell Oda had big plans for Law from the moment this time skip started. I mean, Punk Hazard pretty much started with him, and it's been the balls never stopped rolling with Law and his crew. And now the fact that Hawkins got him in this very, very deadly situation, the fact that his crew never spoke, but at the same time he hid away Beppo so that way Law can't bounce up out of there. Dangerous situation. Looking forward to seeing what goes into that, because honestly, I'm saying right now, if WANO is to be as deadly as it has been portrayed, then we need some casualties, baby. And I don't want them in particular for no reason. They gotta have some sort of importance. They gotta have something that they develop the characters, whether it be Law being the casualty, whether it being one of his crew members. This is deadly. I don't want to see every single person escape unfazed through all this. We need people, like, you know, to make it again. This is Wano. This is one of the deadliest places in New World. On top of that, you got Kaido waiting in the wings. Boy, you got Big Mom here. This ain't a joke. So, again, seeing that situation, I hope it's as deadly as it seems to be, and even if they escape, this needs to be, like, for it to really touch that level of, like, everybody's waiting for the next time we reach that Marineford-esque thing. It wasn't the death of Ace and Whitebeard that made that whole arc. Let's get that clear, because I don't want people to think that like, ooh, Law's in a bad situation with Hawkins, I want death. No, because that's not what made Marineford, but it was the impact of this struggle, this seemingly desperate situation. And just when we had a glimpse of hope, Luffy was finally about to save his bro, Whitebeard came, everything, then, you know, hope was snatched back, and it was the despair that kind of left us with an impact on Marineford. And I think we could potentially see the same, because there's too much at stake right now. Too many people are in some messed up situations. Again, looking at Law versus Hogan right now, how is he going to get out of that? Luffy's barely getting out of his situation right now after being in captivity in Wano. And then, of course, again, from where the last chapter left off, leaving us where we're at now, Big Mom basically bopping Queen and then kind of taking him for a ride. Now, honestly, when I first read this chapter, I was like, yo, what? And I had to reread again the last part of, you know, the last chapter and realize, okay, you know, Queen did take an L, but let's examine how he was taken out. It wasn't like it was just, first of all, any old ordinary person. Let's get this straight. Even though Big Mom ain't in her right state of mind of being able to be calculative about things and stuff like that, that's still Big Mom. That's still a Yonko. That's still a monster. That's still an animal, baby. So yeah, Queen, don't get me wrong, he was snoozing, he wasn't dead, but Big Mom rocked him. Big Mom gave him a good 1, 2, 3, and on top of that, who knows? We don't even know how strong Big Mom really is when she's not in that. For all you know, when she was innocent in her more grander days, because you know how, especially in stories like One Piece and stuff like that, the effort, friendship, victory, when people are in trouble, Big Mom right now, she's not even fighting with a bad thing in her mind. Like, she's pissed off at the fact that these people from this place that were nice to her can't eat any more of this food. So when you look at Big Mom's powers and everything, it's like she's possibly even stronger this way because she don't have those negative boundaries that kind of restrain people. Like, she's thinking she's doing good, and when you think you're on the right side of things, it gives you a power up like no tomorrow. So yeah, Queen taking that L, was it a little bit like, damn, we've been waiting all this time to see this? Yeah, it did feel like that, but when you think about it, it is Big Mom, and he's not dead. We will see Queen back up again, possibly after Luffy gets his little skirmish in with Big Mom, because, let's be clear here, Luffy probably ain't gonna defeat Big Mom by any means, but he'll be able to stall her and show some growth. But hopefully this ain't the end of Queen. I want to see him by the end of this arc, which is gonna be a long one. Let's see more of Queen, baby. Now, maybe I'm missing something, but I noticed that one of those cells was smashed up and broken apart, and the prisoner is free. I can't remember, to be honest with you. Maybe it's just my ignorance that I'm misremembering things, but I'm not sure who it was that was in there. If it was one of the people that is a part of our side, you know, I guess Rizo's people and whatnot, or whatever is going on. But we see that the person that must never be, or the person that must never leave captivity, has left captivity. So we see there's something brewing there. Again, a lot of subplot setups, which is what Wano is going to be. So get used to it. And if the subplot all leads into how it's been doing, that it's not just, you know, meaningless subplot for characters that aren't going to have much weight in things. Usually, from what this arc has been showing, everyone has a major role. Real freaking crazy how Caribou, this deep into the, you know, New World, but I guess he's kind of been somewhat of a Buggy-esque type of character. Him and Rizo cutting off communication with the snail transponders. Honestly, this is how you do it. I love that despite some of the hiccups, a lot of the operation is still going accordingly and helping out. I mean, with somebody like Kaido, you need every possible advantage, and that's including a surprise attack, including making him lack understanding, which would be understanding what situation they're in. By the time all is said and done in this arena with Big Mom, whether they trick or whatever, if Kaido has no idea what's coming to him, if they're showing up, let's just say Big Mom follows Luffy because whatever happens here, he's like, hey, you know, we both in it together, it doesn't matter, we can go find the food. The real person that has all the food is Kaido, then Kaido won't know what's coming to him. So very, very cool that, again, small subplot like Rizo thing is overall leading back into the bigger picture. And of course, again, the latest chapter, the ending, which is culminating from all of what we've been waiting for with Luffy's training. It seems as though Luffy's about to activate that HAKI that was devastating, that he's been training for. He trained a bit with trying to understand it from the days of thinking about Rayleigh, Katakuri, a lot of cool things. Now it's manifesting with this, and again, we can't really even label. Let's just say he's able to put Big Mom just to sleep or to at ease some sort. We still can't even label anything because this is not Big Mom in her right mind. So Oda can play around and say, well, she's nowhere close to as strong, or she's way too strong. So it shows that Luffy, whatever he does right here, it'll still be a vague marker on Luffy's strength as a whole, but it'll be good to see at the very least if he can somehow maneuver and master that haki. And especially I love the way it's being done. This is why I say that for a training arc, which is what it feels like, having Big Mom involved in the training arc, this is great, because now they're using the Nakama power up, so to speak, in an interesting way that this old man is forcing Luffy, you gotta use it now, if not I die. So can't wait to see next chapter what Luffy does, his next move. Is it going to be a new gear? I want to pass that question off to you guys. Is Luffy going to activate gear 5th with the next chapter? Is it going to be a variation of gear 4th and we still ain't going to get gear 5th? I think a gear 5th should be coming soon, because we got the new movie too, and you know how they love to do big promo things, so maybe we'll see gear 5th in the next chapter. Might be too soon though. It was only what, an arc or so ago that we got, well, it was a couple arcs ago I guess, that we got the official version of gear 4th. It was what, then the Dressrosa. So yeah, your thoughts on what's to come with Luffy's haki developments. Also, what is your take on Queen getting KO'd by Big Mom? Yes, it was quick. Yes, it feels like, man, we've been waiting, but I think Queen will be back. And I guess it passes off to you again. Do you feel as though it was just too much? Like, Big Mom put the beats on Queen, whether he was in his dinosaur mode or not, she did not give a crap. Also, how do you think this is all going to play out? Now that communication is lacking from wherever Kaido is at, do you think they're going to be able to sneak one up on him? Depending on how it is. I mean, at the end of the day, having Big Mom as an ally, it feels like a cheat code in a way to be able to defeat Kaido, but if it can be maneuvered in a fashion that it's used like, hey, it doesn't really mean that she's fighting technically as a good guy with Luffy, and it's not even that she's tricked, maybe something else can happen. I don't know exactly what Luffy is going to do or what Oda has in store with all of this, but I can't freaking wait. I also love how Oda's staying true to that. Luffy, one of the things I remember him saying is that Luffy, you never really see him thinking in his head, and that's what caused the big stir of like Big Mom wanting to kick his ass in the latest chapter of that. Yeah, he's thinking out loud still, so that's always a part of Luffy's character. If you didn't know, that's why things like that happen. So it's not like, oh man, what, it's convenient. It is a little convenient, but Luffy doesn't think here. He just talks and does. He's a man of action. And your overall thoughts and expectations for One Piece 947. Honestly, 945, 946, crazy stuff. Yes, Big Mom, she's here and she's moving the plot along. Honestly, every time Big Mom advances now, it seems as though she's a marker point of like the plot is going to move. Kid is free now as well. You know, him and Killer, they're both free now. So yeah, craziness. But that is all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Please hit the bell to get all notifications. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links of course in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Can't forget the music though. Hold on, let me play y'all a little something.
Paper rules, if you heard it, best believe that. For now it's whatever, one day I'll be your favorite forever. No matter how you get it done, no matter